Hello, brothers. Yeah, my dear friends on YouTube. This is Mohammed Shafi. I'm a Microsoft certified professional systems engineer on Windows NT and later on upgraded myself on the remaining versions of Windows Server. And I have been completing the courses on LinkedIn also on Windows Server 2019 administration and the related stuff. And apart from that, I'm also a network engineer by profession. I am on the track of Cisco net certifications, and the latest certification for me is the one I acquired recently on June 7th, and I became the Cisco certified specialist for enterprise core by the grace of Almighty. uh, I was planning to share with you people something related to the basic concepts of networking, because as an IT instructor, I know how students feel about networks and how what kind of doubts they might have in the mind. So I just wanted to make this video a short one as well as an informative one. So let's start with the definition of the networks. You can see several new terms being coined in these days, but broadly you can start defining the network something from here, like the personal area network, which is actually the interconnection of devices within a short range. This range is not large, it's very much limited. It is confined to few meters. A person who is part of the personal area network through some medium, it could be a wired medium or wireless medium, especially, and most of the time people benefit from the wireless medium, such as Bluetooth, infrared, near field communication, all this kind of stuff. So whenever people try to get connected to each other, okay, or they get connected to the device such as a printer, wireless printer, they are in a personal area network. And the moment the person goes away beyond the limit that is supported by that network, he is out of that network, so he gets disconnected. So it's only good for a short term sharing of information. As we know, networks are created to share information. The major goal of networking is to share information. Without this goal in mind, there is no purpose of setting up of a network. So this was the personal area network. The building block of all networks actually is the local area network. As we build the wall using bricks, this is considered as one of the bricks, okay, the foundation. It starts with connecting devices could be anything that can be a part of network, that can have the IP address, okay, a logical address to identify the device on the network. You may find my another video. Actually it was not meant for the beginners, but I did cover some of the basic concepts of IP addressing. You may check that video of mine. I'll try to include the link in the description, God willing. Okay, so local area network basically is interconnection of devices within one building. You are not crossing the building. You may have one building and multiple floors of the building. For example, you have a building, okay, you may have multiple floors in that one. Each floor of a building, no matter you have LAN 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4, all of them is collectively referred to as LAN only, because it's local to that location. Okay, so no matter how big is the building, all the network inside, all the interconnection of devices inside that building is actually called as local area network. When you move one step forward, you'll try to connect LANs in multiple buildings. Supposing you are in a college campus, okay, you are in a hospital, you might be in a location which is actually owned by some organization, and it is in a defined range. Defined, I said, it's not a limited one. the owner of that particular organization will define the boundary of that particular area, and all buildings that are connected to each other, the lands inside the buildings, when they get connected with each other, they actually form the campus area network. I'll show you the images, don't worry for this one, how this like. When you go one step ahead of this, you create a metropolitan area network, which is nothing but interconnection of campus area networks within a city or cities, okay, that are up to 50 kilometer apart. Now there is a difference of opinion regarding the distance it can be covered for setting up a metropolitan area network. In some Cisco books I came across up to 120 kilometers, and some of the newer ones they say 50 kilometers. So I want to stick with 50 kilometers. 50 kilometers is also not a short distance. Imagine your network is spanning to 50 kilometers and you are able to reach some server or a device which is sharing information which is 50 kilometers away from your own site. So such a large network. So basically when you try to hook up the campus area networks in different cities, you are actually setting up a metropolitan area network. And we'll try to discuss later on what media cables can be involved in this one. But for now, just remember and understand the ladder I will show you after this. Wide area network, also called as long haul network, okay, is interconnection of metropolitan area networks within different cities, okay, or states. It could be cities, states. So I can add here, for example, states of any country, okay, or if the countries are closer to each other, okay, in that case anything beyond that one, it comes under the category. This is above 50 kilometer, right? 50 kilometer, or you consider the maximum range of up to 120 kilometers. Anything above that one comes under the category of wide area network. And internet is the big boss of all networks. It is connecting all wide area networks in different countries together. So that's how internet is formed. Now you might be wondering, you are having a single PC and you are accessing internet, to which type of network you belong. You are actually part of this one. You are part of some ISP's WAN connection, wide area network connection, because those WANs are interconnected and they are providing you connectivity to internet. They are allowing you to browse websites, reach different sites for different information. That's the reason why you are part of a wide area network connection, because the basic building block for this internet is nothing but that. Now you can see this one for better understanding. Basically you start from LAN, stair 1, this is staircase, this is step 2, it becomes CAN, and you interconnect the LANs together, it becomes CAN. If you can interconnect CANs, it becomes MAN, and interconnection of MANs will become WAN, and the interconnection of WANs will become internet. And here I gave the connection table for your better understanding. I hope it is clear. I need to zoom it little, okay. You can say LAN, a computer into computer. It's just to mention that, okay, you may connect anything inside this one. Any device which is capable of participating in the network can be a part of LAN, but it is confined to a single building. Campus area network is connecting all the devices in one building to another one. So LAN in one building connecting to another LAN in another building forms a CAN. Metropolitan area network will interconnect the campus area networks together. WAN will interconnect the MANs together. Internet is nothing but interconnection of WAN. That's a simple definition for you to remember regarding this one. Okay, so now let's see some of the images for you to understand better. You can see here that this one is local area, this one is LAN, interconnection of devices, how it is connecting, what it can connect, campus area network, just in the graphical format what I was just mentioning to you. Okay, that's how. And I do have some other images for you to look over. You see this laptop, mobile, all getting connected. This is an example of a wireless personal area network. We have wired and wireless always in the in the world of networking. Okay, locally the network is confined inside the building. Wide area network, you can see here, man is connecting different. Actually, it's supposed to be the image that is showing here is actually nothing but the CAN of one college, like hospital, school, all these things. Campus area network is confined in one area, and somebody will be owner, university, hospital, or airport authority. Someone will be owner of that one. So that's how you form uh, different types of networks. Okay, now, okay, coming back to the topologies, because topology is the physical layout of a network. We have different popular topologies available for us to understand. The oldest one being the bus topology, in that they were using a single length of cable, and the cable that they were using was this cable, thin net or thick net. Okay, thick net was this, and they had own limitation. Thin net can go up to 180 meters more specifically, but they rounded off to 200 meters maximum. One cable length, you can see the topologies here. If this is thin net, for one segment of the network you cannot reach more than 200 meters, maximum it is 200 meters. Then you have to use another repeating device to extend the length of the cable, whereas thick net was capable of going up to 500 meters. Okay, and this was the bus topology. It has its own advantages and disadvantages. We'll discuss in some other videos. Just I want you to concentrate on the type of connection, because I am afraid the video will get larger. So let's try to reduce the size of the video so that you take interest in watching it completely. Okay, second one is your star topology, which is very popular one. You can see here a central device called a hub or switch is used to connect all the devices here. Okay, I will give you the details regarding the topologies and the benefits of them, and benefits, and you can say advantages or disadvantages of those things. We'll discuss later in another video. Now just try to understand how things are getting connected. Okay, this topology is another one, is a ring topology. Is basically this is logical ring, but physically it looks like a star. There is multi-station access unit as a central device, which has two ports, ring in and ring out. So they will keep connecting like this. Internally it will work like this. A token will be circulated. Token is very popular. This is when we go to bank or any other to seek anyone's service. We get the token number, we collect the token number, and we wait for our chance. In the similar fashions, devices in ring topology used to wait. But the most popular topology is the star topology, and you may form a hybrid one also. Okay, like connecting star, ring, bus networks together, it becomes a hybrid topology based on your requirement. And a full mesh topology is needed when redundancy is your prime target. Okay, in that case you are going to use full mesh topology. You can see here each device has connection to another device. So this involves lot of cables, and the cost will be definitely high, but at the same time there is a redundant or backup connection to each device. If one cable fails, nothing will go wrong. Two fails, nothing. Likewise, depends on the number of connections you have given or connected computers and other devices. It depends on whether you went for a full mesh or a partial mesh. Okay, so this was all about topologies. You have to remember that topology is nothing but it's a physical layout of a network. Some of the topologies are logical also, as I was talking about the ring one. This is logical. Logical is something that can be imagined, it cannot be touched. It's not visible or available right in front of your sight. Okay, that's how. That's a ring topology, star, and different topologies. Now coming to the media types that can be used, you can see here This is the most common type of media which is used in the star topologies. We are using the most common topology in use is the star, and it's easy to troubleshoot, and involves little more cable than bus, but it's very easy to troubleshoot. In case of bus topology, single break in the cable will bring down the whole network. If this goes anywhere, the whole network is down. In case only one, for example, this cable is broken, if you break this cable, only that particular computer is out of network. You got it? If this one is broken here, for example, this is gone, only this PC is out of network. In this case, if I break cable from here, the whole network is down. Okay, so that's the reason why bus topology was not that efficient, and the more number of devices were added, it became more difficult for network engineers to troubleshoot the problems. So forget about them. You can just remember, for the sake of your information, there used to be a bus topology which is no more in use nowadays. Coming to the star topology, we'll find these cables mostly used between PCs and the central device called hub or switch. This is a hub, or this one is a switch. They have, these are two switches, one is managed, one is another managed, managed and unmanaged. Unmanaged switches are those switches which don't have the operating system installed in them, whereas the managed ones will have some kind of operating systems for you to interact with the device, to configure the device. Okay, yet another device which is very popular is a router. A router is a device which connects multiple networks together, different dissimilar networks together. We'll talk about these things more on later. Just wanted to have a glance at these devices, what could be the devices that can be used in networks. Okay, so you have to remember this is a one Ethernet cable, UTP unshielded twisted pair. It has its brother shielded also. You may just find the information on Google regarding the difference between these two. It's only a difference of shield actually. You may just find this is a single mode fiber which used for long runs, several kilometers. It can go up to 5 kilometers, without using a receiver like this. It can reach, this one can maximum reach up to 550 meters, and after that it requires a repeater to extend the length of the cable. But this is used within the campus area networks. Okay, and building to building connections and other thing. These are, you can say, used for metropolitan area networks. Okay, in wide area networks, definitely if somebody can bear the cost, they can run the cable. There are, these days people are going for that. But if the distance is too far away, it's highly impossible for anyone to bear the cost of using fiber. In that case, they will rely on the telephone communication services, and they will use their network to form. So it could be a wired, with the help of the telecommunication network, or a wireless one, depending on the situation. Okay, so we will discuss those things later on, but I just want you to see how does this look like. The color identification for single mode fiber is yellow, and here basically in aqua color and orange color you will find the multi-mode fiber connections. And these are the thicknet and thinnet cables that were used, and they are very common now these days for CAT-V networks. As you know, we are trying to set up a dish connection in our home. You find this one, the guy will come over here, he will try to set up from the dish, and he runs the same cable. Similar one is coaxial cable, called as coaxial cable. So no more, hardly used in networks now. Okay, some of them might be using cable networks, cable modem networks, but now this one is gaining popularity. So this is, brothers, all about types of networks and different topologies and other things. I sincerely hope this video was informative for you, and I would like to thank you for sparing your precious time in watching this. See you next time. Take care.